don't need coding skills until you do. All right, so this is the topic for today's video. We're going to break down the limits of no code tools and AI as of today as a software engineer, or if you're someone that just doesn't know how to code and you want to get something up and running like a website, a web app, mobile app, how to use AI and how sometimes using AI and understanding the basics of prompting, it could get you to where you need to be, but at the same time, it could cause a lot of grief. It could cause a lot of headaches if you don't know the fundamentals of software engineering. So this is why having some basics of software engineering fundamentals still matter. Regardless of any tool that's out there, okay, you need to know the fundamentals of how a website works, how a web app works, how a system works. All of these things are important to ensure that you don't run into any major problems when you get this app up and running in production, okay? So here, with the AI, it's been great. I've been using Claude Code mostly for a lot of my projects, and I could tell you, you give it the right prompt, it does what it needs to do. And you look at the code output that it does, like it's really good at generating code that will solve a problem. If there's a bug or something that you need to fix, it actually knows the context of it depending on your prompt, and it does it for you, which is great. But it gives you a promise, right? Like you see all these different YouTube channels, these TikToks, Instagrams talking about how AI is very efficient and what you could do with it with demos, etc. And it shows how easy it is just to write something into a prompt and then it generates a web application or a website. And it does great things if you know how to prompt it well, and it gives you everything that you need under the sun to get whatever MVP that you want out there. But if you don't understand contextually of how your app is being built and what could happen when things go wrong in production, you're going to have a major problem. Okay, so you can spin up apps relatively quickly, you can generate features, and you can build MVPs way faster as to relying on a engineer, which is cool, right? It gets you somewhere. And you start to build hype around that. You're like, oh man, I got, you know what I'm saying? I got my app up and running in production. I'm telling all my friends and family, yo, I got this new app. Please support, log in, look at the features. Let me know if anything's going good. You push this out, you get marketing behind it. Everything seems to be good. You're getting a couple users. You chilling right now, right? Now comes the problems. Now comes the emails of people reaching out to you for support, saying that they can't log in, saying that this page is not rendering correctly, that they can't save their billing information, etc. So now what do you have to do? Go to AI again to figure out what the problem is. You're prompting, you're figuring things out. You're like, hey, this person ran into this issue, right? AI reads the requirements, they try to fix the issue. You're testing it, it still doesn't work. So you're going through this negative cycle of prompting with AI to fix a problem when it's not even getting the job done, or it's even breaking more things, okay? The more things that you are breaking with AI, or you're just vibe coding and accepting whatever the output is, the more bugs will appear in the conflicting fixes that happen. Okay, so this is very important. Like you have to understand AI gets things wrong. Regardless if you start a new session or you use a different AI tool that one is not compensating for, is going to run into this problem regardless. So having some type of prompting skill or any fundamentals of software engineering helps. Just to kind of explain where people get stuck with AI, the debugging wall is very important. All right. If you don't know how to debug issues when they come up, if you don't understand what an error is and how to fix it and just relying on AI to read through all that, you're going to have a problem. You're going to deal with data flow issues, like why is this page loading so slow? Why can I not get this data to look the way I want it to look? You're going to run into a state issue to where the app is just not in a good state, right? Like it looked good to your friends and family, but once it got out there in production, now you're running into an issue to where people are running into problems with your app in different areas. And API failures. If you don't understand how an API works, how it fails, etc., you are going to have a lot of problems. You're going to have a lot of errors coming in. You're not going to know what to do, and you're going to get frustrated. I also have a video about how APIs work. There's an annotation in this video. If you want to click that, go to that video. It breaks down how APIs work, how you can use it for your website, web application, and the importance of having an API that functions correctly. All right. You can't fix what you don't understand. And this is why learning with AI and doing the research on your own and having fundamentals is very important, because you're not relying on AI to do everything. And also, AI could go offline. It's happened with me with Claude multiple times to where it's down and now I can't use it. So I got to go back to my fundamentals. I got to understand this problem. I got to fix it, right? So this could happen at any time when you roll out this MVP. Another thing to think about is scale. How does your application scale? Do you understand how your database is functioning? Do you understand what kind of queries you are creating to pull back data or to import data, right? To save that data to the database. Do you understand any of that? If you don't, then you could run into a lot of race conditions to where the data just sits there and then the app just goes offline. This is where understanding how a system scales and where you want it to be is very important. Having QA is very important. So you need to worry about that. You need to really focus on scaling your application. Because if you focus on this, everything will just fall in line. I'm telling you. Now, there's going to be customization limits with AI, right? And this has happened to me where I'm working on an application, I'm refactoring it, and I'm burning through a lot of tokens, and I'm at my limit, right? And you could have, like, for example, Claude, you could just say in the settings, I want to skip, regardless of the limit, just go beyond that, right? And depending on what you're building in real time, you could hit that limit relatively quickly. And then if you go beyond it, that's on you, because now you're going to be paying more money out of your pocket in order for AI to do its job. You need to make sure that, when no code tools or AI is hitting this limit, that you understand the fundamentals to do the work on your own until the limit is reset. All right, to save you some bread. AI output, right? It gets messy sometimes. It definitely does. Like, you go into this hallucination cycle to where you're prompting it to fix one thing, it gives you the output, you accept it, and then you use the app again, it doesn't work, and then you go back, it's like, hey, this is not working, and you keep going through that infinite loop of reprompting, fixing, reprompting, fixing. If you understand the code that AI is outputting to you and generating, then you can make a better decision on what needs to be done and reprompt so that it knows, like, contextually, this is not what I want. This is what I want in the end, right? So having that, like, output and understanding the AI output is very important. And then you're going to be always refactoring your code, extending the logic, and just integrating, right? So you really have to understand the limits of what AI can do. Now, the lesson here I really want to hit home to you guys is that, you know, no code doesn't remove engineering, it delays it. So, like, it gets you to where you need to be in the interim, but at the end of the day, you're still going to need someone with experience to do the job correctly and not just winging it just by vibe coding. Listen, some people vibe code and they're cool with it. That's on you. If you don't have any fundamentals of software engineering, you're going to run into a bad time. Even these AI CEOs that says, I just vibe code. I don't I don't write code anymore. Okay, you don't want to know why they just vibe code? It's because they know the fundamentals. They understand the fundamentals of software engineering. So regardless of what's going on, they're going to understand what's right and what's wrong and reprompt effectively. And this is why prompting skills is very important. So I need you guys to understand that. Someone who doesn't have AI skills will run into problems. Trust me. The real lesson is the fundamentals will take you so much further into getting what you want as opposed to letting AI do all the work. The person that's going to get stuck, like I said, the one that uses AI doesn't learn systems, doesn't understand how things scale, you're going to be stuck in an infinite loop. The one that wins is the one that understands AI with understanding systems and can debug any issue accordingly. So my take is learn with AI, understand the basic fundamentals of software engineering, okay? You understand that, you should be in a good spot. You can't scale without understanding the basic fundamentals. You cannot scale. If you think you're gonna just get by with just AI being up and running all the time, and then say, for example, it goes down, then what's gonna happen? If you have a production failure, how are you gonna solve this problem? Okay, and one thing I forgot to note is that if you're using AI to just vibe code a solution, right, and you understand the fundamentals, cool. You should have some type of layer around your debugging. So one thing I would suggest is maybe using Sentry to debug a lot of the issues that you're having, and then figure out, what AI could do with that information based on the logs, and you'll get better results by doing that. Also giving AI more context around your application and what you're building makes it easier for you as well. So with all that being said, AI is great. I love it. I think it's great for everybody to get what they need to get running effectively. That's it, guys. That's the video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if this helps you understand AI and what your next steps are going to be with it. I think everybody should be learning with AI and not just relying solely on it, because you're going to run into a lot of problems if you do. Okay. And if you need any help, like mentorship or anything like that, click the link in the description, man. Click the link so we could work together, bro. You can schedule a 15-minute consultation, see if we're a good fit, and then based on what your needs are, we'll have a weekly conversation to talk about your needs for tech. And if you need me to do code review and all that stuff and help you with AI to help you supplement your learning, that's something that we could do too. All right? I'll talk soon.